Hey, what's going on guys? Here I'm again with another exciting tutorial. I've created a portfolio using Bootstrap and just a little bit of JavaScript. So let's see how our portfolio is looking like. As usual, the first thing you got to see here is the navbar, which is so simple to create using Bootstrap. Just like copy and paste a bunch of codes, and then which is responsive, and the usage, the main point of using Bootstrap is to make your website responsive. I'll show you in a minute that it's fully responsive. Then we have the contents here, a little detail about yourself. Then we have this nice image, and I really love it that while I move my cursor on how nicely the image is tagged here. I really love that. So after that, we have about me section that I put a hover effect on, which is really nice. And after that, we have this image that I've designed this using. This is not a saved image. It's designed using Bootstrap, and look at its corners. It's really nice. And then you put a little detail about yourself. Then this nice way that I will explain for you guys how easily you can create something like this in your portfolio. So then we have a scale section that here you show users experience or the skills that you do have in different technologies or different careers. So for example, here we have visual designing, which you have 4 years of experience, and the percentage of that, which is really nice. And here I've used JavaScript. Then we have programming skills that you show users the skills that you have, the experience or the skill that you have in different programming or frameworks. So after this section, we have portfolio section, which is really nice, and I will show you how nice is that. So for example, you want to see the portfolio related to the web designing, so you just have to start for that. You just have to click on web designing, and it just sort all the things that are related to web designing. And I'll put some this pattern here. This is not a pattern, it's an anchor tag. And also, if you want for example development, you just click on, and it just bring the images that related are to development. And if you want all of them, and so on and so forth, and also if you want all of them back, just click on all, and it just bring all back. So after this portfolio, which is really nice, we have our contact us section, and look at this nice wave that I put here, and these input fields that it has really a nice hover effect. And look at its corners that when I move my cursor on it, just changes its corners, which is really nice. So at the end, we have our footer that here I put something, and also copyright 2021, and here we have the social media icons. So when you reach to the bottom of the page, you want to go to the top of the page. The banner section, you just have to click on this button. Here it is an image, but it just works like an button. So you just have to click on, and it just takes you to the top of your web page again. So at the first of the tutorial, I mentioned that this website is responsive. So if I just decrease the size, you'll see that it's just still things are organized, and this nav will nicely change to a hamburger menu, and you don't have to worry about, just Bootstrap take care of everything for you guys. So after this, I'm gonna keep on scrolling. You will see that everything is still organized, and it's still things are looking well, and nothing changed, and it still works in different different types of devices. So let's create something like that, but before doing that, hit that subscribe button to my YouTube channel. That makes me happy. So here I am in Visual Studio Code, and this is the code editor that I'm using for all of my tutorials, and it's really amazing. I really suggest you guys to use this code editor. And here I've already created a folder called portfolio, and inside this I've put some images that I'm gonna use in this tutorial, and you can have access to these images from websites, Pixels, and Unsplash. So and also there's another website that I haven't used this in this tutorial. In this tutorial, but it is really useful. If you want, you can have it head over on, which is many pixels, which will provide nice images here. So what we wanted to do is to create our index.html file. So just come here and type index.html. So inside the index.html, I'm just gonna type HTML, and this is going to generate this boilerplate for me. And here in its title, I'm just gonna pass portfolio. Now, because I'm using Bootstrap, we have to set it up. To do so, I'm gonna go inside the browser, and here I've already opened up its website, which is getbootstrap.com, and from here we have something called introduction, and in introduction we have to copy its CSS and JavaScript CDN. So I'm just gonna grab it from here, copy, and I'm gonna go here, and at top of our web page I'm just gonna paste it down here. Now we also need its JavaScript, so I'm gonna go inside the Bootstrap website again, and from here you have to copy the bundle. So I'm just gonna click on copy and come here before the body, paste it down here. Now you've completely set up Bootstrap, and now you can use it freely. So what I'm gonna do is to create this navbar here. To do so, I'm gonna go again inside the Bootstrap website and scroll down. Here we have something called components, and in components we have something called navbar, and I'm gonna click on navbar, and it just takes us to another page, and I scroll down to find your favorite navbar that you want to use on your website. So the navbar that I like to use is this one, and in most almost every tutorial of mine I've used this one. So I'm just gonna grab it from here, copy, and I'm gonna go here, and I used to put a comment here, so I just say navbar section start and navbar section ends, and between these two comments I'm gonna put our navbar. So I'm gonna save it and open it up in the browser. But if you have installed an extension here called Live Server, which makes Live Server easier, you just have to click on your HTML file, and from here click on Open with Live Server, and it just opens it up in the browser. And you see that how easy we just created a navbar which is responsive. Let me just decrease. Yes, it's responsive, and you don't have to create any hamburger by yourself or type any codes of HTML or CSS, nothing else. Yes, so we need a little customization. So I'm gonna go inside our Visual Studio Code. And at the top, the very first thing we're gonna get rid of that is container fluid. We want the BG light, and a replace of navbar. I'm gonna put our YouTube channel, which is Learn here. And after that we have this section. I'm gonna get rid of the active save from here, and then here we have features, but I'm gonna get rid of this, disable it from here, and then I'm gonna type the tabs that we have in our website. So the first thing we have, the first one is home, and the second one is about. So I just say about. And after this section, after the about section, we have scales. So I'm just gonna type scales, and also you have to put about in here, because I don't know if I show you guys, if you could just click on about section, it just takes you to about section. If you want to go to a scale section, you just have to click on it. It just takes you to the scale sections or wherever you want. So and here I'm gonna put the scales too, so I just say scales. Then I'm gonna copy this out, because I'm gonna duplicate this, copy and paste it down here. And after the scales we have portfolio, so I just come here and select this one and type portfolio, and I'm gonna copy this out and paste it down here too, and small the first one. So after that, after the portfolio section, we have the contact section. So I'm just gonna paste it down here and change this one to contact. Make sure that it's capitalized. And here I'm gonna put contact too. So that's all. And now we need to move these things to the right side. To do so, it's so easy to do. So the only thing you have to do is to go in collapse, find a class of collapse, navbar collapse, and pass the justify content to the end, and it just takes it to the right side. Easy. So now to make it look like this, we have to do a little customization using CSS. So I'm gonna go here inside our Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, it is belong to all, and that's the reason that I'm telling our Visual Studio Code. So here what I'm going to do is to create our style.css file. So I just say style.css. And you need to make sure that your CSS file is connected with your HTML. So I'm going to go at the top of this, and after the link of bootstrap here, we're going to link up our custom CSS file, which is a style.css. And inside style.css, I'm going to select everything and set its font family to a font family that I really love, which is cursive. So after this, what I'm going to do is to select the body and put its overflow from X direction to hidden. Then after that, I'm going to select the nav bar. So after the body, I'm going to type nav bar, and here I'm going to give it a font weight. So I say font weight, and its font weight going to be bold. I used to type bolder. So then nothing changes. The only thing that is that just makes them a little bolder. So then let's see what do we have here. The font size is increased, and also the color are in orange red. So I just come here and say navbar, and from the navbar select the navbar brand, which holds our logo, which is this one here. So here what I'm going to do is to set its color to orange red. This is the color that's used in this website. And then its font weight, font size actually. So I'm going to say font size, and it's going to be 2.2 rem. Yes, now it just makes it a little bigger. Yes, it is bigger now. So after that, we have to start our nav link, which holds these things inside itself. So I just come here and say nav link, and here the only thing I'm gonna do is to set its font size to 1.5 rem, and also give a color of orange red, but it's not gonna change, else you have to put the important keyword here. So I just say important. Now you'll see that its color changed. Come on, baby. Its color changed and its size increased. And I think that we've done with the nav bar. After this nav bar, we have to create our banner. To do so, I'm gonna go inside our index.html file, and here at the end of this, we have to create. We don't have to, but for good practice, do this. I'm gonna put a comment and say banner section start and banner section ends. And within these comments, I'm going to create the banner section, but I'm not going to put a section here. I'm going to say div, and I'm going to give it the class of banner and display of a flex, and also align. I always used to type align items. I always used to type aligns the place of align item to the center. That just makes to everything gets horizontally. It's vertically, or I don't know, this direction to put it at the center. I messed up the meaning of horizontal and went vertical. So here, as usual, you have to create a container, and inside the container, I'm going to create a row, and inside the row, we have to create a column, which is column in medium size. It's just going to take 5 columns of our website. So if you are familiar with Bootstrap divides the web page into 12 columns, and you can use those 12 columns. So inside here, this code means to take 5 columns of those 12 columns that we have in a web and Bootstrap grade system. So inside this, I'm gonna put an each one, and I'm gonna say hello, I'm Sajjad Nuri, and then here I'm gonna put a p tag and say full stack developer. All laughed at me because I was typing full stack wrong. Full stack developer. And then after this p tag, I'm gonna have a button, and the button have a class, and the button have the class of joybtn. And inside its inner HTML, I'm just gonna put hire me. And that's all with its HTML. Now we have to style it using the custom CSS. Custom CSS, not the custom CSS. So I'm gonna go inside style.css file, and here I'm gonna select the banner. And here I'm gonna give it a background, which we have this background here. If you, yes, this nice background here. So I'm gonna come here and say background, and its background is inside the images folder, and its name is profile1.jpeg. Then we have to customize it because it will look ugly if you don't. And let me refresh that. Even we do not have that. So we because we didn't give it a width and height, or maybe I typed this one wrong. Banner, yes. It should have a space here. Now you will see that we have background here, but we need customization here. So I come here and say background size to cover, and also background position to center. Then I'm gonna give it a height, also background attachment to make it attach at our website, background attachment, and its value is fixed. And then we have to give it a width and height. So I say width, its width gonna be 100%, and its height gonna be something like 37 rem. Not rem. Then we have the nothing else. So I'm gonna save it and refresh, and you will see that our background fixed. Then we need to customize these things here. So to do it, I'm gonna come here inside our style.css file, and from the banner we're gonna select each one. Then I'm gonna give it a little font size. So I really hate this font size, and its font size is 3 rem. Then its color gonna be orange red, and also font width gonna be bold. Yes, now our each one color change. Then we have to install this p tag. So I just come here and type banner, and from the banner select the only p tag that we have in our website, in our banner. So again, I'm gonna set its color to orange red. Then its font size gonna be 2.7 rem, and then text transform to capitalize, and also its position gonna be relative. No, I'm not gonna set its position because I don't know why I'm putting this position. So you'll see that it just gates here. Then yes, now I understand why I put the position relative, because we need to put these lines here, and these needs position relative. So I just come here and say position, and its position is relative. Then we have to create those lines. To create these, we're gonna use pseudo classes of after and before. So I just come here and type banner, and from the banner select the p tag and put the pseudo class of after here. The first thing we're gonna do here is to set its content to nothing, but now we're gonna set its position to absolute, because we set the position of a p tag itself to relative. Then I'm gonna give it a width of 100%, and the width of the p tag, and also the height of 3 pixels. So then now you'll see that I just looking even not here. I select the banner and p tag. So position, let me give its top to 0 and also left to 0, and it just will make it visible. So I'm gonna also give it a background, and its background is orange red, not just orange. And you will see that it's just like here. And before I wasn't giving it background. That was the reason that it wasn't visible. Now we have to also put something like this at the bottom of this each one. So to do it, I'm just gonna copy this out and paste it here. Yes, and replace a before, after, we're gonna pass before. And here the only thing we have to do is to from the bottom set it to 0. So I just say bottom, and it's gonna be to 0. Now you'll save it, and you will see that it's just nicely fixed here. So I think that we've done with this section. And if you want to make it like this, you can increase the bottom size, but I'm not gonna do that. But now it's time to style our button that we have here, which is really looking ugly comparing to our website. So here I just come, and the class name that I got for that is JoyBTN. If you remember here, you can see that its class name is JoyBTN. So after get the JoyBTN, and here I'm gonna give it a padding which is 10 pixels from the top and bottom and 40 pixels from the sides, and its background is transparent, so I just say background and transparent, and then its color is orange, and actually it is orange red, not just orange. I haven't used orange here. I'm gonna give it a rotate border radius to make it round, and its border radius is going to be 30 pixels from all the sides, then also border which is solid 3 pixel, and also orange red. So I just say orange red, and now you'll see that it's just looking like this, and we have to make this text a little bolder. So to do it, I just say font width, and its font width is bolder, not just bold. Yeah. Now we also have done with our with our button, and after this section, it's just looking exactly like we had in our main project. I mean the project that we have created before. So after this section, we have the nice and talented and really intelligent about me section. So let's create the about me section. So to create the about me section, you have to go and your index.html file, and after the banner section, I'm gonna put a comment here and say about section start and about section ends. Then here I'm gonna create our section with a class of about, and also the ID of about, because we want to, whenever we click on about, it just takes us to that section like this one. So and after that, I'm gonna give it a padding from the top and bottom of 5, and that's all. So inside this, as usual, create a container, and inside this we have an each one. If you just take a look here, so I just say each one, and I'm gonna give it a custom class which is title, and inside its inner HTML I'm just gonna put about. Yes. Do I have any paragraph? No, I don't have. So after this, I'm gonna create our rows. I just say row because we need 2 columns for this. To create columns, you have to before pass a row here. So inside this, I'm gonna create our columns, but before doing that, I just come here and put everything to the center. So I just say justify content to center. I've installed a section here called what is it? HTML class snippet. That's the reason that it just fill it, I mean purposefully, while I just typing something. So justify content center, also align. When I just type align, it just bring it up here, so I can click on easily. It just put it here for me. Now we have put everything vertically and horizontally to the center. So then inside this one, we're gonna create our columns. I just say column in medium size. It's just gonna take 5 columns of our website. I told you about that the great system of bootstrap divide our web page into 12 parts, and using this line of codes, which is a class, we've just reserved 5 columns of our websites. I mean our web pages. So and also that that is in medium size. If you just decrease the size of your web page, that's not gonna be 5 columns. It's just a stack on top of each other. So and inside this, as you see here, we have an image here. So to create the image, I'm going to use the image tag, and the image is inside the images folder, and its name is profile 2.jpeg. Then, as I'm doing on all of my tutorials, give it a class of width of 100. It just makes it to look nice and fit in your website. So then I'm gonna put other content and other column, so I say column in medium size, because if you divide, I mean minus 5 from 12, 7 of them left, so I'm gonna use the rest, the 7 that left it here, and inside this, what I'm gonna do is to create an h2 tag here and say, let me introduce myself. And then we have a p tag that I generate some lorem ipsum here. And do I have any button here? Yes, I do have. And that's the button that we've created. Its class, it's a custom class. I just say button, and it has the class of joy btn. And inside its inner HTML, I just say download CV. Oh god, CV. Yes, save that and take a look. Yeah, here we have. So we also have to customize this, bring this at the center and put this hover effect on, and add this image and also this wave. All of these are possible using our custom CSS file. So to create something like that, we have to go in or install the CSS file, and from here I want to select the each one that contains the class of title. So we want to put that in the center of our web page. So I just say text align to the center. Then I'm gonna have a padding of 20 pixels from the top and bottom, but 0 from the sides. Then its font size, oh god, font size is 3 rem. Then its position to relative, like before that we've just created the lines for this one. Yeah, we want to create something like that for this each one too. So again, guess what? We're gonna use pseudo classes. So I just say h1, the h1 that contains the class of title. We want to write the pseudo. We want to use the pseudo class of before on it. And here, the first thing you have to do is to set its position to absolute, then also its content to nothing, an empty string. Then we have to give it a width, and its width is 20% of the size of this one or any each one we have. Not this one, a 20% of an entire vertical size of the web page. And then I'm gonna give it a height of 3 pixels, and its background gonna be black. And then we have to set its left, which is 50%, and from the top it's gonna be 0. But we also have to get rid of the transitions. I just say transform, translate, not transition, translate. So it's gonna be minus 50% and also minus 50%. I want to tell you a secret that if you want to bring something at the center of our web page, you have too many choices. One of those choices is used to position absolute and relative, and when you put that position to minus, 50%, it just takes to the center of the website, but it's just not exactly at the center of the website. Else you have to give it, you have to get rid of the translate and translate, because here the position count that and try to put this side, this position, this one that I'm just putting my cursor on, this side, it just counted from here and tries to put this position of the element at the center of our web page. And by doing the translate minus 50%, it just makes it to come at the center exactly. So, and after the transform translate, I'm gonna put a little transition, because we're gonna later put a hover effect on. So I just say transition, and its transition gonna take 0.5 seconds. So after this, we have to copy this out one more time and put it, put the pseudo class of after. So I'm just gonna copy this out and paste it down here. Replace of before, I'm just gonna pass after, and here replace of top, you're just gonna pass bottom. Yes. So now we have it at the top, at the top of this, at the bottom of this. But we don't want the bottom one exactly. Yes, we don't want the bottom one to be appear till we move our cursor on. To do so, for now, we're gonna get rid of the width of 20% and it makes it set it to 0, and you will see that we do not that have. And then we're gonna put a hover effect on, and we say whenever we move our cursor on, it decreases width. And just to do that, I'm gonna come here and say h1, the h1 that has a class of title, and if we move our cursor on, then affect the pseudo class of after and set its width to 20%, and also give it transition. So I just say transition, and it takes 0.5 seconds to occur. Then I'm gonna just duplicate this one, because when we move our cursor on this one, you will see that the top one gets disappear, but the bottom one gets appear. So to do that, to do things like that, I've just copied this out one more time. In place of that, here we put before, and here replace of with 20, I'm gonna set it to 0, and it also takes 0.5 seconds. And you may ask me why you pass the transition here, because when I just pass the transition here, it affected only the top one, but to affect both of them, I put transition for all, for the parent, also for the child too. So I'm gonna save this out and go in our profile, and now if I move my cursor on, you will see it just nicely gets disappear, and the bottom one gets appear. So then after this section, I gave that actually we have to do a global styling, which is the paragraph. Each paragraph tag that we do have, we want to set its color to a gray color. So here I say, I select the target the p tag and set its color to gray. Yes. So all the p tags that we have in our website gonna change to a color of gray. Yes. Then we have to style this image, but before styling this one, I'm gonna put its background color, generate this wave here. To generate a wave like this, you have to use a tool here, which that tool that we are going to use here is a website, but that website names is just gatewave.io. For some reason, when I search gatewave.io, it brings another website that I don't know what's going on. But if you want to have access to this website exactly, just search gatewave, and the first link that appears on your computer, just enter on, and that's this website. So here you can generate the waves. So how can you generate waves? It's so easy. Just select the direction of these waves. It should be at the bottom or at the top. If you want it at the top, you just click on this one, this icon. If you want to the direction of the waves be at the bottom, just click on this one. Here also can change its color, but I'm not gonna do that. Also, you can generate random waves here. And after you've done and found your favorite waves, you just can click on this icon here, and it gives you two options, which is download SVG and also copy SVG. So you can copy its SVG here, but I should mention for you that you can't use this link, put at the background of your website. Use the property of background in CSS and put this as a value of URL. It's not gonna work for you. So the solution of I realized is that download the SVG, then use that. So I've already installed, download some SVG. If you just click on download SVG, just download it. So I've then already downloaded some of these SVG, and I'm gonna just directly use it in our website. So here I'm gonna come and target about section, and here we have to give it a background. So I say background, and our background is inside the images. Remember, this background is the wave that we've just download using this website. So here I say images, and inside the images we have a wave with the name of 2. So I'm just gonna press on, and I just bring the wave at the background of our about section. So I'm gonna set its background repeat to no repeat, because we don't want it to repeat it for us, because the size of it is smaller and it's repeated. Then I'm gonna set the background position to the bottom. Take a look. Yeah, we have our wave here. Then we have to install this image like this one, make its corner like this. It's so easy, and just accidentally occurred by me, and it just looks like I just started liking that, and I let it like this, and it didn't sound much. So to do it, we have the image inside the about section, and I'm gonna give it a border radius. So I just say border radius, and its border radius is gonna be 50%. But that's not all, so it just makes it to look more round here. But we don't want something like this. What do we want? Well, I'm gonna give it a 50. We want something like this, So I'm gonna set its width to 500 pixel, not percentage, and also its height gonna be 500 pixel. Then its object fit gonna be contain. And after that, when you just give its object fit content, it's try to do not break the quality of image. That's the reason that it just makes it look something like this. Now I don't know if I save it. Yes, I did. And if I go in portfolio, and it's looking really awesome. Yes, and we've successfully done with the about section. Now we have to dive another section. Let's see what section we do have here. So we have the scales section, which I've used a lot of JavaScript here. So let's create this section. So to create this section, we have to go inside our index.html file at the bottom of this. Here after the about section, I'm gonna put a comment here and say scales section start. And also and between these we're gonna create our sections. So I just say section, and our section gonna have the class of scale and padding from the top and bottom of 5. Then we also have to give it a we have to put a dot here, padding from the top and bottom of 5, and also give it an ID. To give it an ID, you have to use a hashtag, and our ID name is scales, and as usual create a container for this. So I just say container, and inside the container I'm gonna put in each one we want to define our title. So I just say title. The title is the custom class that we've created for the about section, and this is the same for all the titles, all the sections titles. So I just say title, and here I'm gonna put my scales. Then after this, each one I've used a p tag and say I'm gonna give it a class to bring it at the center. So I'm gonna say text to the center and generate some lore which contains 20 words in this lore mipsum. So save it, and you don't have to check it out because I'm sure that it's looking fine. And to be honest, I'm gonna, oh god, sorry, I'm gonna get rid of this one. So after the MySQL, not after this one, after the p tag, we have to create a row for this one, which contains 3 columns here. So to create that, I'm gonna come here and say row easily, and inside this row create the columns. So if you divide, here we have 3 elements, 3 columns, and you want to fit it in 12 columns, 12 grid columns of bootstrap. To do so, you have to divide the number of elements, the number of contents that you have in your website by 12. If you divide 3 by 12, you get the result of 4. So here we're going to create a column with in medium size with 4 columns. It takes 4 columns of our website, and if we put them together, 4 columns become 12. So 12 columns of the website. So inside this, I'm gonna put a div here and give it a class of scale percentage. So I just say percentage rounded, and this is a class name. And inside this, I'm gonna put a div here, and I'm gonna leave this blank because we're gonna fill this up using JavaScript, and then a p tag here. And inside this, I'm gonna put a percentage here. For example, 95.5 percentage. Make sure to put this percentage because we're gonna have access to this percentage using JavaScript, and we need this percentage, else you have to type it using JavaScript manually. So then here we've create our column. I'm gonna come here and create another div, and I'm gonna give this div a class of scale, not kill. And inside its inside this one, I'm gonna create an h3, and inside this h3, we're just gonna say visual designing. I type it right. Yes, I did. So then we have a p tag, and here we're just gonna say experience of 4 years, even though I do not have experience of 4 years. It's just a portfolio. So now I'm gonna save this out and take a look here. It's just looking like this and ugly, but we're gonna fix this using our custom CSS file. But the main point is that we've created one column of the Bootstrap grid system, and we have 2 columns, which each column contains 4 columns of the Bootstrap website, Bootstrap grid system. So we're gonna copy this out one more time. Copy and paste it down here, and also paste it down here. So now that we've reached to here, we have to customize this. To do so here, let me check what do we have at the last one. Here we have 8 years of experience. I'm just gonna copy this out from here, and I don't even have to do that. We normally can change 8 to 4 to 8. Then this is the front-end development, so I'm gonna copy this out from here and paste it here. Then its percentage is 83.4. It didn't matter, we're gonna fill this up using JavaScript. And then we have backend, so I'm just gonna copy this out. We don't have to copy that, and I'm gonna copy this out because it's harder to type. So I'm gonna go in second one. In here we're gonna set the experience to 6 years and replace of visual designing, and we're gonna put backend development, and then backend, and then we have the scale, and we also have to change its percentage, which is 70.4 percentage, 70.4. Oh, actually it's 6. It doesn't matter. So now if you take a look, we have 3 columns, but it's looking ugly. But we're gonna fix this out using our custom CSS file. So I'm gonna come here, and in custom CSS file, before doing anything, I want to put its background because it just makes life easier. So I'm gonna copy this out from here and paste it down here. Before replace of giving the background for about, we want to give it for our skills, which is our class name, or it's the section name that we have here. The skills, yes, plural. So here I'm gonna say image wave, and it is not 2, it is 5. I have multiple waves here. That's the reason I'm not gonna put 5. These are just waves. So it's background repeat, no repeat, and background size, background position to bottom. But I'm gonna give it a background size. So I just say background size, and its size is a really big number, 2050 pixel. Yeah, it really looks ugly, but we're gonna fix this out. So then we have to fix these. To do so, I'm gonna go inside our custom CSS file again, and here I'm gonna go, access the scales, and from the scales we want to have access to call medium 4. We've just target this column that we have here, all of them. So here what I'm gonna do is to set its display to flex to bring it side by side, make it to look side by side. Then align item, justify content to start, because when we decrease the size of our web page, if you set it to center, it will look ugly, but if it's be at the start, it just looks nicely and it still looks good. But if you set it to center, this one gets at the center of the website web page, and it just makes your website looks ugly. So we set justify content to start, align items to the center. Then I'm gonna text align to the center. There are different between text align item is that it affects the align from this side. I don't know if it's vertical or horizontal. And then we have text align. Text align makes text to come at the center of the website. So let me show you what I mean. If you set the text align to the center, it just makes things to come at the center here, not at the center of, it just makes it come at the center, but I don't know how to explain that. It makes it to come at the center like this, the text align, align items, but the text align only affect the text and sometimes affect elements too, and bring it at the center of the parent element. I hope that it makes sense. So then what I'm gonna do is to give it all the margins. I'm gonna say margin, and its margin is 3 rem from the top and bottom, but 0 from the sides. Now let's see how it's looking. We have it like this, and these are side by side and looking well. And I don't know, give it 3 rem. So now we have to create its round, the circle. So to do it, I just come here, and from the scales, I want to access the scales. Let me just copy that out from here. The scale or percentage rounded. So copy this out from here and paste it down here. And what happened? I save that and put that semicolon at the end. And so I'm gonna give it a main height, main width of 150 pixel, and then we're gonna give it a main height. So I just say main height, and its main height is also 150 pixel. Then I'm gonna give it a border, and its border is solid 5 pixel, not 50 pixel, and its color is black. Then it's display to flex to bring everything at the center. Now I'm not gonna give that because I want to explain and show you things. So then we want to round it. So I say border radius, and it's 50%. Now you'll see it just makes it look round, but things are not at the center of our websites. To make this come at the center of the circle, we have to use the flex box. So that's reason that I type flex, display flex, justify content to center, center, and also align items to the center. Then now you'll see that it just put it at the center of our website. And so then I'm gonna set its position to relative, because we're gonna fill this out using these, and we're gonna fill this using JavaScript, and it should have the position of absolute and relative. So I'm gonna say position, and its position is relative. So then I'm gonna come here and target the div here. So I'm gonna grab these things from here and paste it down here, and from this access the div, which is we are accessing is this div. We want to fill this up using JavaScript. So here I'm gonna come and we have to set its position to absolute because we set its parent position to relative. Then I'm gonna set its width to 100%. Its height gonna be, for now it's gonna be 30%, but we're gonna fill this out. I mean target the height using our JavaScript file. So I'm gonna set its a background to light blue. Then at the bottom, I'm gonna set its bottom. We have access to the property of bottom because we've used position of absolute. Now let's see. Take a look here. Yeah, it filled this out, but it just gets out of the circles. So to fix that, here we have to set its overflow to, it was in its parent element. So we set its overflow, don't go to that, overflow to hidden. So now you'll see that it just looks around, and if it's overflow from there, it just hides it. And this background disturbs us here because also this section is belong to, I mean programming scale section is also belong to this section. But when we put this, it will push it down and fix that out. So, and if we increase the size of this, it just takes over this p tag. So we don't want to be like that. Let me increase its size to you guys see actually, and you'll see that here it just goes at the top of that one. So here we have to give it a z index. So I come here and say z index, and its z index is -1. Someone texts me. Yeah. It's still fine. It just goes at the bottom of this. I mean, behind of this. That's fine. We're gonna fix this out. So for now, I come and scale. For now, I'm gonna comment this out. Select all of this. Control with question mark in my keyboard. I don't know if it's the same for your keyboards too. So now you'll see that I just fill this out like this, and I don't know why the z index does not work. So you have to give the z index for this. Yeah. So now you'll see that it is at the back of the paragraph. Now I'm gonna target this one and change its color. Then we're gonna write its JavaScript code. So I'm gonna just come here and say from the scale and select the not a scale. Let me check. Here we have a scale, and this one is scales, but this one is only a scale. So we target this one, and from there we target each tree. And the only thing I'm gonna do is to set its color to orange red. Yeah. Now its color changed, and then we have to fill this out according to this number that we have here. But for now, it just filled 70% of the circle. But we want to this one fill 95% of the circle. This one 70% of the circle, and this one 83% of the circle. So to do it, we have to create a script.js file. So I just come here, and I think that it created inside the images folder. So here, I want to make sure that I'm inside the portfolio and say script.js. We have to link this out with our HTML. So after the bootstrap bundle class, I'm going to type a script, and it's src gonna source refer to script.js. Now I'm gonna go inside the script.js, and we have to access those elements that we have here. So I want to create a variable, call it circles, and assign it to document dot query selector all, and the element that we want to access here is which one we want to access, a scale percentage rounded. Yeah, and from the scale percentage rounded, we want to have access to this p tag. So I'm just gonna paste it down here and make sure that you put a dot here, else it's not gonna work for you and I don't know if you are using a class here. Then from there we have to access the p tag, which has the value of the percentage. And then I'm gonna create another variable. Let me do it in an easier way. So press Shift Alt down and it just generates something like this for you. So now I'm gonna change this variable name to circles percentage, and here we want to access the div here because we want to fill the div according to the percentage that we've got from the circles. So here I'm gonna do a for each over the circles and takes its values and assign it to the assign it to the width of the circle percentage, which is this div here. So I'm gonna say circles. I've noticed that I'm saying so much. So here in this for each, we have access to each individual circle. The circles, we have 3 circles. While using for each, we have access to each individual of them, and we also have access to its indexes. And now I'm gonna use an arrow function here and say circles percentage, and or loop through overall circle percentage and access its style property. And I know, yeah, I successfully passed that mission. So from style, we want to access the height property, and in height property you can pass a number here. For example, we want to pass 50% here. So now if I save it, you will see that it just filled 50% of this, but we want to get this number dynamically. So to get that one, we have access to a value of this using this line of code. So from there, we want to get the inner HTML. You notice that we've put this value inside the p tag. So I just come here and say circles. We have access to each individual circle, and from each circle we want to have access to its inner HTML. Now if I'm gonna save this out, you'll see that this one is filled 95.5%, this one filled 70 point, and so on and so forth. So now we're also successfully with this section. Then let me go and see what do we have next. We have programming scale section. So to create this one, I'm gonna go inside our index.html file and at the bottom of this, and not out of this column, but let me check. We have to be inside the container. So here I'm gonna go and choose C. Here we have the container, but out of that row here I come and say div. I'm gonna give it a class of programming scale. This is a class name, and actually this is plural. So we've created a div with a class of programming scale, and inside this what I'm gonna do is to put a p tag and generate some lorem ipsum. So I just say lorem, and it's just gonna generate something like this for me, and you will see that it's just looking like this. And yeah, so we've created this one, but we have to pause this inside a row and column because this just takes the entire of our web page. We don't want something like that. So I'm gonna Control Z this out. I'm sorry for this. We have the programming skills, but we have this programming skills inside a row. So I just say a row, and inside this we're gonna put everything to the center. So I'm gonna say justify content to center, also align items to the center, yes. And inside this I'm gonna create a column. With this column gonna take 7 columns of the website, web page, and a medium size. And now we're gonna create this div here. So I'm just gonna select both of them, and we want to move them to the top. So to do it, Alt and Up key, and now we have it at the center, I mean inside this div here. So, and programming a scale inside its inner HTML. Let me check if it's inside its inner HTML. Programming a scale. This programming scale is not a div, it's just only an h2. So I just say h2 and say programming scales. Yes. So then after this one, we have a p tag that I've generated some lorem here. So I say lorem. Now you'll see that it is at the corner, I mean at the left side of our website. And if we just create another column of our website, it will push it to the left side more. So let me check what do we have else. We do not have anything else, but I'm gonna increase the number of the lorem ipsum. If you don't, it's okay. So I'm gonna say lorem, and it's gonna be 100 word. Now I just put 10 more text here, and I think that I was using exactly 100 words here too. So then we have to create our scales, programming scales. So we have to create this out inside inside another column. So I'm gonna come here and make sure that you are out of this div here. So I'm gonna create another div and say call, and medium size is gonna take 5 columns of the website because it's the only that is left. So inside this, I'm gonna create a div here with a class of programming scales. So I'm just gonna say programming scales, and inside this I'm gonna create a div with a class of a scale percentage, and inside this I'm gonna say JavaScript, and then we have a span which holds the percentage itself. So I'm gonna say 90%. Yeah. And then I'm gonna duplicate this out. To do so in Visual Studio Code, Shift Alt down, and twice. Oh, let me get rid of this one. We have it for JavaScript, Vue, Node.js, and React. So I'm gonna just come here and change these to JavaScript. Yeah, then this one gonna be Vue, and this one gonna be Node.js, and the last one gonna be React, the one that I hate the most. React. So we also have to give percentage for these, so it's gonna be 50%, and this one gonna be 76%. This span gonna be, this Vue gonna be 96%. I really love using Vue, and this one gonna be 80%. I'll save it, and it is looking pants right now, but I'm gonna fix this out using our custom CSS file. So I'm gonna come here inside our style.css file, and the one that I'm gonna target is programming scale. So I say programming scale. Let me just copy that out from here to make sure that there is no mistake. Copy this out and go inside our custom CSS file, paste it down here. And actually I've done a mistake here. So I'm gonna give it a width of 400 pixel and also a margin of 4 pixel between each element, each div here. Then I'm gonna set its color to white, and its border, for now I'm not gonna set this out because it will just makes it to not be visible. Then I'm gonna set its border to solid 1 pixel, one pixel, and the color gonna be black, and I'm just looking something like this. Then we have to fill what I'm gonna do is to we have to set a background of orange for this as we have in a main project, but we're gonna do this using our JavaScript file. But before doing that, I'm gonna come here and set, I'm not gonna do that. I will do that when we wrote our script. So I'm gonna go inside the script tag, a script website, and here I'm gonna put comment and say fill programming skills, and then I'm gonna access something here which is programming skill percentage, programming skill scale percentage, skills percentage, and assign it to document dot query selector all, and we want to select all the programming skills. So I'm just gonna come here and copy this out, programming skill, put a dot here, programming skills, and from there access the span tag. Remember, we have the percentage inside the span. So then I'm gonna create another one and say a scale percentage wrapper. This is the wrapper for the percentage, and assign it to document dot query selector all, and it's gonna be scale. The scale itself, here we have these, a scale percentage, a scale percentage, and don't forget to put these dots here. It really annoys me that I forget sometimes and really think for about 10 minutes, and I realize that I don't put a dot here. So now we have to fill this out. To do so, we've just have to follow something like this here, this codes here. So I'm gonna loop through over the scales percentage wrapper for each. We're gonna use for each here, and it gives us access to each individual scales and also its indexes. Then we have an arrow function, and now I'm gonna access the scale, and it's a style property. From there we have to access its width and assign it to the programming a scale percentage, and loop through, put an I there, which it's a loop through over all of this, and we want to have access to its inner HTML, which is a percentage value. Then I'm gonna access its style again, so I'm gonna say a scale dot style, and we're gonna give it a background. So I'm gonna say background, and this background gonna be an orange red color. Now save it. Yes. No. Yeah, it feels, but it do not have gap between the each element. So to do it, I'm gonna come here inside our style.css file, and here I'm gonna set its color to black because it's okay if I do now, white. And now I'm gonna access the programming skill, and from there access the scales of percentage. So I'm gonna say a scale percentage, and then I'm gonna give it a little margin, which is 4 pixels. Now let's see. Yeah, and now we have gap between these things. Awesome. We're finally done with our programming skill. Then we have the hardest part of it, which is portfolio. So I'm gonna come here and create our portfolio. So we have to go inside our index.html file, and at the bottom of all the codes, before the body and the cdn tag, I'm gonna put a comment here and say portfolio section start and portfolio section ends, and inside this we have to create a section with class of portfolio, and then it has the padding from the top and bottom of 5, and at the end ID of portfolio. And inside this, as usual, create its container. Then I'm gonna put its each one, which gonna have the custom class of title. Inside its inner HTML, I'm gonna type portfolio. Then after this each one, I'm gonna create a UL which holds these menus here. So I'm gonna say UL, and I'm gonna have the class of filter menu. Inside this, I'm gonna put an li, and inside its inside this li, I have to put a data target. So I'm gonna say data, and this data enables you to use something like variable inside HTML and data. And from the data, I'm gonna give this data a name, which is target, and I'm gonna have the value of all. And inside its inner HTML, I'm gonna put all 2 and duplicate it 4 times because we have 4 li here. So this one gonna be something like, let me, if I can copy this on, copy. Yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna go here and copy this out, and also this one here, and also web development, copy and paste it down here, and also here. Then I'm gonna copy the enterprise too. So oh, actually I've done something wrong. No, I didn't. Paste it down here and here. Yes, we're finally done with this. Now we have to put our images. To put our images, I'm gonna come inside our index.html file and create another UL here because we want to put those images inside an unordered list. So I'm gonna say UL, and I'm gonna give it a class of filter item. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is to create our one li and give it the class of app actually, what is the first one? Web design. So I'm gonna say, let me put the app development, and inside this we have to put an image because we have an image here. So I'm gonna say image, and the image has an src, which is src referred to images, and its name is portfolio. Inside the portfolio folder, we have an image called app development 1.jpg. And then inside this li, we have a button. So I just came here. Oh, don't do that. So after this image, I just come here and make sure that you are out of this image tag, and I'm gonna create a button, and the button value gonna be read me. Yeah. So now we've finally create our first image here. If you just take a look here, you will see that we have this image, which really looks pants. But I'm gonna duplicate these and also change these classes to development, which we have web design, and also enterprise. But I'm not gonna do that in this tutorial. I'm not gonna record that because it would just takes too much time of us. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll write them out, then I'll come back. See you. Wait for me. So guys, here I am again, and I've wrote all of them. I'm gonna walk you through so you guys really can see what's going on. Here we put some classes for this, which is web development, and for each of them, this class matched to its file, its image name. The image name is enterprise, and also the class name is enterprise. We're gonna fix this using JavaScript, and while you just click on enterprise, it's gonna search for the classes, the elements that has, the images that has the enterprise value, and while it just have it, and it makes it visible. If it hasn't, it set its display to none. So now we've finally done with its HTML, and we have to style this out because it still looks pants. So to fix this out, I'm gonna go inside our style.css file, and from style.css file, I'm gonna come here, and from the container, I'm gonna select the filter menu because we have a filter menu of, at first. I'm gonna set its display to flex, justify content to center, also align items to center, and then cursor to pointer, cursor to pointer. Yes, now you'll see that it just put it like this. Now we have to get rid of these dots and fix this out more. To do so, I'm gonna go inside the style.css file and select the filter. From the filter menu, select the li, the list item that we have. The first thing we're gonna do is to get rid of the list style type, then give it a padding of 10 pixels from all the sides. Its background gonna be an orange or red color, and then its color gonna be white, and also its margin gonna be 2 pixels because we want a little gap between these. I'm gonna set its display to flex. No, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna save this out, and you will see that it just looks something like this. Before I was giving it a width and height. That's the reason that I've told you that I'm gonna use width and height. So then you notice that we have a little transition here, because when we select this out, it just nicely changed. So I'm gonna give it a little transition here. So I said transition, as transition gonna be 1 second. And then whenever, let me see if I put an hover effect on. No, we don't. So after this, we have to fix the filter item, which is the images. So to do that, I'm gonna come here and say filter item, which holds the images here. So I'm gonna set its display to flex, and also justify content to not start to center, then align items align items to center, then flex wrap to wrap. If you don't pass the flex wrap to wrap, it just looks something like this. Come on, baby. Yeah, it is here, and here I'm gonna put flex wrap to wrap. And now if I decrease its size, it just gets fine. When we have these dots here, we have to get rid of them. So I say UL, and from the UL, select its list style type, and it's gonna be none. Now we do not have that here, and now I'm gonna target the images and decrease its size. So I'm gonna say filter item, and from the filter item, select the images that we have inside the filter item classes. So I'm gonna set its width to 350 pixel, at height gonna be something like 350 pixel. Then I'm gonna give it a little padding between each of them, which is going to be not padding, margin. So I just say margin of 10 pixel. Come on, baby. Yeah, we have it like this, and we have to fix these buttons too. To fix this out, I'm gonna come here and say filter item. From a filter item, select the li here. Let me check if I do that. No. So from this, select this one and set its position to relative, because we will set the buttons position to absolute, and its overflow gonna be hidden. So now we have to target the buttons and put it at the center of the image. So I'm gonna say filter item. From this filter item, select the li. Inside the li, we have the button. If you don't believe, here we have filter item. Inside the filter item, we have this li. Inside the li, we have the button, which lives inside the li tag. So I'm gonna come here, and what I'm gonna do is to set its position to absolute. So I'm gonna say position absolute. Then from the top, it's gonna be 50%. Don't type it like that. I really hate that. From top 50%, from left side also gonna be 50%. And remember, I've told you that get rid of the translation, not transition, translate. So I say transform, translate, and it's gonna be minus 50% and also minus 50%, and it just makes it to come exactly at the center. Then I'm gonna give it a padding of 10 pixel and 20 pixel from the sides, then a background of transparent, because it will have the background of white if you don't get rid of that one, and its color gonna be orange red. Then its border radius gonna be something like 10 pixel, and its font width gonna be with bold, and then its font size gonna be 18 pixel, and border light orange red and 2 pixel its size. Then also transition, which is 0.5 second, because later when we move our cursor, I don't want to give that because I'm not gonna put any hover effect for the button. So actually we have to do it, because when we move our cursor on, the button count from the top. So I'm gonna say transition, and transition gonna be 0.5 second. Now you'll see that our button is exactly at the center of our website, and it just looks like this. And the only problem that I've done here is I should get rid of this padding here, margin. Yeah, now we have it at the center. I'm gonna give it a little padding to put a little space between the images, and it's gonna be 10 pixel. Yeah, so everything is fine. Now we want, when we move the cursor on the image, it changes its color to a darker color, and the button count from the top. Yeah. To do something like that, here again, I'm gonna come inside the style.css file and select the filter item from filter item. When we move our cursor on the list item, what do we want to occur on the button? First, we have to get rid of the top 50 and set it to a minus number, which is going to 40%, and then here we're gonna just set it to 50% again. So top 50%. Now the button, when we move the cursor on, it isn't here, and if I move my cursor on, it counts from the top. And we also want the button, the image, change its color to a darker color. So I'm just gonna copy this out one more time and paste it down here. And replace of targeting the button, we target the image. By replace of the top, we're gonna target the filter, and its brightness gonna be 30%. So now I'm gonna also give it a little transition. So I say transition, and it's gonna target the filter, and it's gonna take 1 second. Now, so let me refresh this out, and it is at the center now. Yes, at the center. If I move my cursor on, you'll see that it changes color to a darker color, and the button nicely came from the top. And it's time to write its JavaScript, because when we click on web design, we want to get the images related to web design, app development, and enterprise, anything. So I'm just gonna come here and go inside our script.js file and put a comment here and say sort images. Inside this, what I'm gonna do is to access the buttons. Oh, actually, I didn't access the buttons. We have to access the button, and also yeah, so the problem is I don't know exactly which one I should select. So we have to access the buttons, and I mean the buttons are this one here. I call these buttons, and from these buttons, so to access this, I'm gonna go and let me check where we have these buttons. At the top here we have the filter menu, and these are not buttons, these are li tag, but I'm gonna know that as and as buttons. So I'm gonna come here and say const, and I'm gonna give it the class of the variable name of sort btn, and assign it to document dot query selector all, and I'm gonna select this one, make sure to put a dot here, and from there access all the list item. Then we also have to access the, what do we have? we have to access each individual image. So to select the images, so I'm gonna duplicate this out, and I'm gonna call this as sort item. And from the sort item, we have to access each individual image, class name. Here we have the class name for this app development. And from the filter item, I'm gonna put filter item here. From the filter item, what do we want to access is this li. We have this li, and using this we will access its class name. So we don't need to pass anything else. We have access to this. So I'm gonna loop through over all the buttons. So I'm gonna say sort button dot for each, and it gives us access to each individual button and also its indexes. Then I'm gonna use an arrow function here. So I'm gonna assign it to an arrow function. Then I'm going to say button dot add even listener, add an even listener to each individual button. It's going to listen to a click event. Then again call an arrow function, another arrow function here. So then I'm going to loop through over all the sort item. So I'm going to say sort item, and I'm going to use for each here, and it gives us access to each individual item. And again, I'm going to use an arrow function here, and I'm going to use and write a condition here. So this condition say if the btn, which is this one, which gives us access to each individual btn, which I called this one as a btn, and if the btn dot inner HTML. Let me console.log this one more time. Once you could see, I'm gonna console.log the sort button. So I'm gonna say sort button, and from the sort button, for example, the first one and its inner HTML. Now you'll see that in a console, what we get is the value of one of these, the value of all. Yes, we have this, and here we're gonna say btn.innerHTML, which is all or anything that we have clicked on, because here we are listening to a click event. And from there, if it's from there, give its class name. So let me I messed it out what I was doing. I'm sorry, guys. So here I'm gonna access its inner HTML, and if it's equal to value of all, and make sure it capitalizes because the value of the button here is all here in capital letter, and as you know, JavaScript is case sensitive. So here, if it's equal to this one, I'm gonna access each individual list item and set its display to inline. So I'm gonna say inline, and also btn.style.background, which is each individual button, to a black while it's active. It acts like active. And the btn style.color, that color gonna be a white color. So I'm gonna say white. Nothing we've done here. I'm just gonna write its code here, and as you see here, I'm sorry what I told. I don't even know what I told. So if it's equal to all, the inner HTML value is equal to all the button that we've clicked, we access its style property, the item style property, and set its display to inline, because later when we write the code for these, it set the display of the images to none. We want, whenever we click on, again, this enable these, and also set the button background to black, and its color gonna be white. Then now that we've write the code of all, we have to write the codes for the others button. So here I just come here and make sure that you are out of this if statement, and after this if statement I'm gonna write an else if statement, and here I'm gonna say if the items dot if the item dot class name, if the item dot class name, which is each individual image there, is equal to button dot inner HTML, the inner HTML of the button, set its display to none, the element display. So I'm gonna say item dot style dot display equal to none. And also make sure that you put that button in active state. So I'm just gonna copy this dudes from here and paste it down here. Now our code is finally about to done. If I click on let's see, here we have too many images. If I click on web design, you'll see that we only get the images that has the class of web design. If I click on web development, we do not have anything. Now we have to write another else statement. So after the else if, here I'm gonna type else if none of them are true, not this one, not this one. What do we want to do? We want to access its display property and assign it to inline. So now when we click on these, if the value, if the inner HTML of this is not equal to class name of that one, it just get rid of them. But if it isn't, it set its display to, a display of this app development to inline. So I'm gonna click on this one. You'll see that we get the images that related to this one, but if I click on this one, it just got rid of that again. But here I'm gonna come at the top of this here before the all. What I'm gonna do is to come here and let me check btn add even listener. So after the btn add even listener, I'm gonna access the source btn and loop through over all of this. And what I'm gonna do here is it gives us access to each individual button, and from here we're gonna access the button and set its style.background to orange. So I'm just gonna say orange, red actually, and this is not what I'm gonna do. The button.style.color, and it's gonna be to white. So what it does, that when we click on this one, it's set the active state, it just gets the black color. But if I click on this one, it also gets the black color. I should fix that. After the btn add even listener, yes, this is fine. And then we write the source item, and here we set the display of everything. If I click on all, everything should get visible. So I'm gonna refresh this out. Here I'm gonna click on development, and here we have, and if I click on all, we have all of them. The only problem left is that we should get the value, we should get all of these backs. So yes, we have the enterprise. The only problem is with app development, and I think that I've done a spelling mistake here. App development. So maybe I've done it and it's in images. So here we have the class of images, and here everything is fine. So I'm just gonna grab this from here, and inside its inner HTML, and I paste this. Yeah, because maybe there was a space. So now if I click on, we have app development, web design, we have app development, yes, fine. Then we have enterprise, and if I click on all gets visible. But the only thing left here that this should change its color to orange color, because to do that here, I just come and say background not to black. Okay, where is it? Orange red. I've done a mistake here. Orange red, and its color gonna be white. Now if I save this out, that was the hardest part. So I'm gonna click on web development. We have this, and if I click on this one, its color should change to its first time. So if I click on this one, yes, it's fixed. So all of these are now fine, and that's all. Yes, after this section, which was the hardest part and the fun part, we have the contact us section. So let's see what do we have in a contact us section. So I'm gonna scroll down. We have this contact us section, and we also forget to give the background. Let me check. The background for the scales section, because we comment that out. So I'm gonna go inside the style.css file and find the comments where I've done that. Here I've done that, and I select all of them and comment this out. So everything now gets fine, and I'm gonna go at the bottom of this and create the contact us section. So to do that, we're gonna go inside the index.html file, and inside the index.html file, I'm gonna go at the bottom of this, and after the portfolio section, I'm gonna create another section here. So I'm gonna say contact section start and contact section ends, and between these we're gonna create the section. So I say section, and it's gonna have the class of contact, also padding from the top and bottom of 5, then the ID of contact, and inside its inner HTML create the container. And did I type it well? Yes, I did. And then I'm gonna create an each one with a custom class of title inside its inner HTML. I'm just gonna say contact us. After this each one, I'm gonna put a p tag with a class of text to the center to make it at the center, and generate some loop with 15 words here. After this p tag, I'm gonna create a row, because here we have 2 rows, 2 columns, and we have to put a row before creating columns. So I'm gonna say a row, and inside this I'm gonna create a column, which in medium size is gonna take 6 columns of our website. Inside this I'm gonna put an h2 and say get in attach. After this we have a p tag, so I'm gonna say p and generate some lore, which is going to be a value like this. I mean some text like this. So after this p tag we have this email and phone. So to create that out, I'm gonna put a p tag here, and here I'm gonna put a span, because I'm gonna put the email inside that. I'm saying email, then after this I'm gonna put an email, which is joylearn@gmail.com. Then I'm gonna duplicate this out one more time and write its number, for example, or something like this. And here I'm gonna change it to phone. Oh, not that one. Oh god. Yeah. So here I'm gonna put phone. I can't type anymore. So after this section, we have nothing else, but we have the form in another column. So here, when I come and create our column, so say column in medium size, gonna take 6 columns of our website, and put an h2 and say message me. And then after this each one, we have a row, another row here. We want to create this itself gonna be a row inside a row, which has 2 columns, because I put these into 2 columns. So I'm gonna come here and say row, and column in medium size gonna take 6 columns. The 6 columns is only from here to here. So inside this I'm gonna create an input tag with a type of text, and I'm gonna give it a placeholder. So I'm gonna say placeholder, and its placeholder is name. Then I'm gonna give it the bootstrap class, which is form control. Yes. control. Is it like this? I forgot that. Form control. Let me see that. If it's fixed, it's typing will be fine. Yes, it's fine. So after that, we have it one more time, but it is in another column. So I'm going to copy this out here and paste it down here and change the placeholder to, let me check what we have. We have subject, so I'm just going to say subject, and it's also type going to be text. Now you'll see that it's fixed. Then we have the email. So out of this div, I'm going to put an input tag here. I'm going to duplicate this out and copy it from here. I don't have to do that like this. Cut it out from here and paste it down here, and its type gonna be email, so I'm just gonna say email, and its placeholder gonna be email too. And at the end we have a text area, so I just say text area, and I'm gonna give it a placeholder only, so I'm gonna say place holder, and its placeholder is message. And then inside this, I'm gonna give the class of form control to bootstrap controller. Yeah. Now you'll see that we have it like this, and I don't have to put it out of this div. Maybe am I getting right off? So I'm gonna select all of this and put it inside the div, and you will see that it just fixed it out. No, it didn't. I'm gonna come here and out of this. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, this div will close here, this div close here, this row close here. All of these should be wrapped inside a column. So here you don't have to write it inside this row, you have to write it inside this column. So I'm gonna select all of this and push it here. Now you'll see that it gets just fine. And let me reach the bottom. Yes, it's fine. And at the bottom we have a button, so I say button with a class of joy btn. Now we have to customize this using our custom css file. I also have to pass something inside its inner HTML. Let me check what you have. Submit. So I'm just gonna say submit. Then I'm gonna go inside our custom css file and target the contact. Select all of this and come at the bottom and say contact, and here I'm gonna give it a background, which is URL, and inside the images folder we have a wave 6. So I just say wave, and its name is wave6.svg, and background position to bottom, background repeat to no repeat. And then after that I'm gonna give a background size to it, which is a really high value, which is 4000 pixel. And then I'm gonna select each individual row, and from the row it's column, so I'm gonna say contact, and from there select the row, and from there select the column with which has column medium 6, and there we have a span because we want to make this looks bolder. It gets just again at the top of the website, that's reason here we want to make this bolder. So I'm gonna select this one and say span. I told already span, and here I'm gonna give it a font width of bold, so I just say font width bold. Then I'm gonna give it a margin left of 3 rem. Now you'll see that it just gets bolder, and it push it to the right side. Then we have to install these things here. So to do it, I'm just gonna come here and say contact, and from the contact select the input type, and here I'm gonna give it a margin of 2 pixel for all input types, and also border radius. And you'll see that the border radius is really nice. So this border radius, this sides are round, this side is round, but these sides are still left on its own way. So to make something like that, you have to write code like this: 20 pixel from the right side, 0 pixel from the left side, 20 pixel from the bottom, no, from the, this one is a top right, top oh, actually let me just type it and you will see, you will realize that it just looks something like this. And we also have to we also have to write this code, the same code for the input type. So I'm going to copy this out one more time and paste it down here, and replace off selecting the input, select the text area. May you tell me that why you just select, don't put the text area here and write the same code for all of them? It didn't work for me. I didn't know why. So we have to give it a margin of like this, and also I'm gonna give it a background of transparent. So I'm gonna say background transparent, and you'll see that the background, it just gets transparent, which is really nice. And we also have to customize this button. So to customize this button, actually I put a hover effect on these, but I'm not gonna do that because it's really too late. It is 4:36 and actually it is AM, not PM. And my phone charge also finished. So I'm gonna select the contact, and from the contact I'm gonna select Joy BTN, and here I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna get rid of the border radius. I'm gonna say border radius, and it's border radius 0. Then it's margin from the top, I can't type anymore, as 5 pixel. Now you'll see that it just gets fine. Yeah, and the last thing that left here is the footer. So to create the footer, I'm gonna come inside our index.html file and go at the bottom of this, and here after the contact us section, I'm gonna create the footer, and footer, and inside this I'm gonna put a p tag and write the copyright blah blah blah, copy right, and copyright, then 2021, and put a pop line here, and then all rights reserved. So after this we need social media icon. I've used bootstrap here, so to use that, here search for bootstrap link and make sure that you are inside the cdn.com and this link, and from here make sure that you are using version 6.0.0 because it's not gonna work for you if it's gonna be a version like 4. So I'm gonna copy its code from here, this all.css, and it has the tag, HTML tag, and I'm gonna go at the top of our website, and before the style.css file link, I'm gonna paste it out here, and now we are able to use Font Awesome icons here. So you can you search for font icons in this website, which is fontawesome.com, this link, and from here it gives you access to all of its icons, but make sure that you've checked on free icons, because even though you get its code, but you will not be able to use it because it's a paid icon and you have to pay for. So here we're gonna I'm gonna write its code here, access those and create those icons. So I'm gonna say and here I'm gonna give it a class name, which its class name is FABFA Facebook, and it's gonna create a Facebook for us, Facebook icon, and I did it. Here I'm gonna change this one to Twitter. This one gonna be YouTube, yeah, and the last one gonna be Instagram, yeah. Now I'm just gonna create this, but it may not gonna be visible because the color may gonna be in white color. Yes, they are here, but we're gonna customize this file here. To do so, I'm gonna go inside our style.css file, and at the bottom of this I'm gonna select the footer, and I'm gonna give it a background of black, and then fix a line to the center to put everything to the center, color of white, put color of everything to white, and padding of terrain rim, yeah. Then I'm gonna target the I tag, which holds our logos, or what they call, I forgot its name. These things, I don't know, Font Awesome icons, yeah. And from here, set this color to white color because we set the color of footer to black, and also its font size is going to be a little bigger, which is 2 rem. Now you'll see that it just looks very well. The only thing that left here is when we reach at the bottom of the website, we want to go at the top again. To do so, here product icon, when you just click on it, just takes you to the top of the website. So to create something like that, I'm going to come inside our index.html file, and it doesn't matter, create it somewhere. So here I'm going to create it and at the top before the footer, and here I'm gonna create a div. Let me check. Yeah, I'm gonna create a div with a class of app, and inside this I'm gonna create an image, and the image lives inside the images folder, and its name is app.png. And yeah, that's all that you have to do for it. And now we have to customize this because it will take the entire web page on our entire website here. So it is even not visible. Yeah, we have it so big here. So to fix that out, here I come here and say app. From the app class, select the image. We have the image inside the app div, and I'm gonna set its position to fixed because we don't want it to move if we even scroll our website, and its width gonna be 20 pixels, its height gonna be 20 pixels, then from the right side is going to be 20 pixels, and from the bottom it's also going to be 20 pixels. Now you'll see that it just looks somewhere right here, and when we click on it, should take us to the top of the website here again. So to do it, replace of using a div tag here, I'm going to use an anchor tag here. So here I'm gonna come and change it to anchor tag, and here I'm gonna use its href. Let's say href, and it's gonna take us to the first of the website. Now I'm gonna save this out, and if I click on this, it just takes us to the top of the website. Let me check this out too. If I click on about, it takes us to about. If I click on the scale, it takes us to scale. And if I click on portfolio, it takes us to portfolio, and contact, it takes us to the contact. Let's check if it's being responsive and increase its size, and click on number. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yes, everything is okay. Yes, awesome. So this was from our tutorial, and I'm really tired. I'm working really hard. It is about 5, and seems that I didn't sleep tonight. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.